What's up, guys? My name is Rome himself. I'm a competitive player, esports commentator, tournament host, and content creator for fighting games, mostly known for SNK titles. While I'm sure some of you may already know that, there's quite a bit of you that don't. And that's exactly why we're here today, because what if I told you that there was others just like me? Others just as passionate as myself, if not maybe even more passionate about SNK games. And we're going to sit down with all of them. From tournament players, to commentators, to artists, to event organizers, to lore enthusiasts, to legacy players, to unsung heroes, hell, even the people who work for SNK. All so we can get to know our fellow community members even more and find out their origin stories and put a spotlight on the amazing work that they do for the games that we all have come to love. This is 15 Minutes of Flame.
Get ready, fighters! A Rome himself production is coming your way!
Welcome back, everybody, to another exciting episode of 15 Minutes of Flame. I am Rome himself, and today we have a very special guest here with you. We have one of the strongest players on the side of Europe right now, very charismatic, also a content creator. She puts the British and BJNA. We got KurinyanKOF. Woo! What up? What's going on?
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. And hello, everyone.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad to have you here. You know, it's been a great year, I would say, for KOF 15, but you as well. You've done some amazing things, which we'll get into. But I wanna know your origin story. I wanna know, how did it start? You know, how'd you get into gaming?
Just being a kid and then living in Hong Kong. How should I say? People that surrounded me. How should I say? Classmates that surrounded me. Always play games, so I just started getting into games since when I was young. That's about it. And then in terms of fighting games, it's like when I was a kid, there's a lot of Street Fighter 2 like cabinets just everywhere. So
yeah,
as a kid in that era, you just start to play like what's that, like fighting games at that time. So you kind of just play. Obviously, I was a kid. I was so young. Obviously, I don't know what to do, but you just have fun with it. Then eventually, what's that? When I grow up a little bit more, and then just like hang out with the boys in the school as well. We're just like kind of sneaking into these like manga rental places, because like there's one thing about in Hong Kong is like if you are not, what's that? If your age is under 16. And if you're wearing uniform, you can't go to the arcade.
Oh yeah, because you're technically supposed to be in school, right? So
yeah. And then so because of that, and then as a kid as well, we are not allowed to go to the arcade, so we have to go to some hidden places that where they hide the arcade machine. And at the time they have KOF 96, so we just went to play that. Yeah.
96. So yeah, I was gonna say, because out here, you know, for us, it was similar in terms of like you couldn't go to certain places because obviously, you know, if you're supposed to be in school, if you're too young, like they would kick you out. But we had like pizzerias and like movie theaters and bowling alleys that usually had a bunch of arcade caps. So like that's where kids would go if they couldn't go to the arcades. But yeah, you mentioned KOF, and that was my next question was, you know, how did you get into KOF? What's your introduction to KOF? So you mentioned 96. That's the first one you played?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, obviously like 94 and 95, it was around, but I think the first one I touched is 96, but then because there was a Sega Saturn, so I played it 95 a little bit. Because just to practice for like 96 a little bit, but they're really different games, so I didn't really like how should I say able to practice really well. Then I moved to UK back in 97, and then I started to go to the arcade in London, so that's when I really started like picking up KOF for real, mainly 97. Yeah, I actually started playing a little bit more properly. Well, what to say properly in nowadays standard, so basically know how to do special move and all that stuff and do basic combos, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that gets you far in the arcades, at least early on, right? Is knowing how to do these button combinations and knowing how to do supers and stringing along one or two buttons to get a nice combo. Because, I mean, there's, a lot of people, even now to this day, who, for the life of them, they can't even do quarter circle forward, like it breaks their mind to even try to do that. So, being able to go to arcades as a kid and to get better at that, especially in KOF, right? KOF always has been known as a game with like a bit more strict on the inputs. So being able to do some combos in KOF 96, that's cool. That's really cool.
In a way, it's kind of lucky because that like the first one I touch is 96, which the input is you need to be quite precise on that one.
Yes.
So because of that, I guess my input is a little bit more cleaner.
Oh, playing 96, it made you better essentially because it was tighter with the inputs. That makes sense.
Because what's that like? If you're doing the combo, half circle forward, you have to do the legit half circle forward. You can't really have like any shortcut and stuff like that, as far as I remember. So I guess that was good. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't cut corners, and it essentially taught you how to be more precise. And I can see that. That makes a lot of sense. I can see that in your play now, even with your character choices, which I'm sure we'll get into in a bit. But what about KOF has captivated you? What about it? Because I know you played Tekken. You played Tekken at some point, and you also played Guilty Gear, right? What about KOF is it that keeps you coming essentially?
I think well, actually back after KOF 13, I only played it for 4 months, and then even though I like KOF, but around fighting games around that time, it was kind of dry. And then also the netcode wasn't so good as well, so I can't really play a lot of people. And then until 14 that came out, I know it's delayed netcode. It's not the best, but it's still let me match up with like people who are in like East Coast as well, and then like people around Europe, even though myself from Turkey as well, who I actually play with a lot during the 14 days. So there's people around, so I keep on playing it. And also like one other thing about KOF is like the choice of movement, like the amount of freedom of on the movement as well. I quite like that. I like to able to move for free.
Yeah, you have so many different options, right? The rolls, you have 4 different jumps, right? Some characters have the command moves that can allow them to move across the screen.
It's the speed as well, I think.
Yeah. It's buttery smooth, yeah. It's very fast compared. I mean, I remember even myself when I started to really learn KOF, and then I would go and play Street Fighter 4 because it was around that same time. It was like night and day in terms of movement, and so I definitely would agree with you on that. So yeah, we touched on this a little bit, but you said you used to go to arcades as a kid. So how was the arcade scene for KOF growing up? How was it? Because again, I know a lot of people played Street Fighter back in the day. I've even heard, I know of some people who only started playing KOF because the line for Street Fighter was so long that they didn't want to wait, and then they found KOF and they're like, oh, KOF has 3 characters, so like I'm stretching out my money essentially because I'm
actually
playing with more characters.
I think back in the late 90s, I'm only just like introduced to the scene, so from what I remember, maybe slightly fainted, and I was young as well, so I guess I can't remember exactly what it is, but from what I remember, KOF was really popular in London. I think there would at that time there's an arcade called Wonder Park in central London. There was 4 big cabinets of KOF 98, 96, 97. It was like each year, so like from 96, and then they just all switched to 97 and then into 98. So KOF was really popular, but unfortunately this arcade called Wonder Park, it was closing down in 99. So before KOF 99 came out, they moved the location to places which is hard to access, and then then the how should I say, the arcade scene kind of start to dying down from that. So after that, like there isn't much more KOF scene around that ever since that era. From what I remember.
That's unfortunate, because that's also pre like internet era, right? In terms of like forums and nowadays discords and stuff. Like, so you can't even communicate. You can't be like, hey, here's an online group where we all can meet up. So just in case this arcade closes, you know, we can find another place to play. So I'm sure a lot of those people, you know, they thought that was it. They were like, oh, there's no more arcade. We don't go anywhere else, right? Because there's no online play. There's no, again, there's not much communication in between, you know, like online and offline. So you would have to go out of your way to find it. And that's very sad, because, man, you guys had a strong scene. If you had an arcade that had 4 98 cabs, that's really cool, because you very rarely see that. Even our best arcades at the time in New York only had maybe one of each KOF cab.
And then around those time, I guess because I have school holiday, then I will go back to Hong Kong for summer holiday. And then every time I go back to Hong Kong for summer holiday, I stay there for 6 weeks. Then I will sneak into the arcade and play games at that time. But like there's arcade in Hong Kong at the time. They just have like loads of KOF. It's just everywhere.
Yeah.
So basically, every arcade there definitely have like quite a few 98 and the latest KOF, a few of them, but it's still going to have like a lot of 97, 98.
Yeah, that 98 is timeless in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Until 2K2 came out, and then basically 2K2 take over.
2K2, that's another really, really popular KOF. Not my favorite. I'm not sure your stance on it. But
you know what? Like, I actually didn't really like it.
Okay.
The pace and the color and the audio, I definitely do not like the presentation.
Yeah, the music sounds 8-bit, right? Like it definitely went down from like, you know, Jim's like the 2000 soundtrack in like 96.
You know, that's
right?
why that when anyone that who put custom soundtrack on 15, anyone that who used 2K2 OG soundtrack, I'm going to send them a rage mail for sure.
I'm pretty sure I heard you say something like that in your video you recently released too.
Yep, I did it as well. I'm not lying. I actually did it. Someone used it, that they get cussed. I'm not feeling sorry about them at all.
You hear that, folks? Don't play O2 when you're playing online with her. You will receive some gnarly mail. But speaking of online and playing and competing, do you remember when you wanted to compete? Like you wanted to be the best, or you wanted to be really good enough to say, hey, I'm going to start entering tournaments for this series for, I presume, what, 14, right?
No, I actually didn't compete like from time ago, back in when I was playing Tekken. But like at the beginning, it wasn't even anything too special. Like it's just, how should I say, the guys in the arcade, and they're saying that, yeah, we are going to France or going to different places in Europe, and then like to enter a tournament. It's like, do you want to come along? And I was just like, I never travel to these places. Yeah, sure. Then I just take it as an excuse for traveling. Then I just go for traveling, as well as like enter the tournament as well, meet other people, and that just become my reasons for traveling. So I would take it as an opportunity to travel, and just as a part of the events, and I would just go to some tournament, play a little bit, meet the people there, and just talk to the people, and just compete on the side. That's about it.
Yeah, that's very cool. It's a gateway, right, to traveling, right? Because if you're competing and you know you want to play the best or even compete with the best or whatever have you, yeah, you have to go out, you have to travel, even if it's outside of your city. And that's like the small steps, right? You start with your city first, then you travel out of state, then you travel out of country, you know, essentially. And that's cool. Like you use it as a way to like, okay, I'm gonna visit this place, yeah, I'm gonna play in this tournament, but I also want to go and check out the local scene, which is what I encourage everyone listening to this to do. If you're gonna spend a X amount of time in a place, don't just play video games there. Definitely go see the city, try some of the local food, maybe hit up some of the cultural things in the city as far as events and festivals and things like that. Like definitely try to maximize your time in that country or state that you're in. So that's cool.
Like,
So
okay, my advice for that is like during the day, you can do all the sightseeing stuff, go for dinner, all that stuff as well. But in the nighttime, you're always gonna have time to rinse games anyway. We are all addicts, so we don't sleep that early, right?
yeah,
And then might as well just like get all the sightseeing stuff out of the way first, like do all the normie stuff first. And then once all the normie stuff are out of the way, in the nighttime we can go back to our real personality.
there it is.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, because you know you do everything in the day, get it out of the way, and then yeah, the night is for partying. The night is young. The night is for celebrating and playing games, and so I definitely agree with you there. So your first tournament experience, do you remember? I know you said you've competed even in Tekken back in the day, but do you remember just how it was at you know, competing in a tournament?
I don't
and
really
playing?
remember like my first tournament, but I think I think there's one other thing before the tournament is more like there was a tournament in London. I think was it 2004? Yeah, back in 2004. I just kind of walked by because I was going to the arcade, and then I saw there's a tournament there. And then, so I just talked to these people that I usually play with, and I was just like, hey, what are you guys doing here? And then they were like, just playing in a tournament. And I was just like, oh no. I was like, I didn't know that. And then I saw some people playing CVS2 in a tournament. I think Daigo went to that one as well.
Oh,
Back
wow.
in 2004. But I'm just seeing other people who playing like CVS2 at the time, which remember a little bit earlier I say that after 99 there isn't much of an arcade scene, or at least I didn't know there's an arcade scene that people still hang out and play games. And then so basically I was like playing with my friend. I just go to their house and we just play together, 4 of us. And so until that time I just like walk by and see, oh, there's a tournament in the arcade in central London that I didn't heard of, and I see people playing CVS2, and I was like, wait there, I'm better than some of them. I think I can beat some of them. So that actually kind of made me think, it's just like, hey, maybe I'm not that bad, and then I can maybe enter the tournament next time. I think that's how it kind of made me go to tournament. But in terms of what is the first tournament, like what memory, I really don't remember. It's so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, you have tenure, like you said. You've been playing, you know, since you were a kid for a long time. So I definitely understand. But that was a great example, and I love that. Like, you know, a lot of people have that confidence boost. You know, they beat someone that's competing in a tournament or is perceived as good, maybe in the area, and they're like, oh shit, I could do this. You know, like if I'm beating this person, let me actually give it a shot. You know, and I think that's how a lot of us end up, you know, jumping in there. Of course, we learned that there's a lot more stronger people in the area, but that also pushes you to want to, you know, be better. So yeah, again, we touched on this about you traveling. Can you name some of the places you've played KOF in, some of the other countries?
Besides US that I've been to, and then Japan, also been to Taiwan for New Year World Tour, and then Hong Kong when I went back to home just to visit family, and then I meet up with the guys in Hong Kong that plays KOF as well. So a shout out to Nene's as well. We went out for dinner and stuff like that.
Say her name properly.
Nanase. Yeah, sorry, I would call her Nene's, but like just for jokes. But you actually pronounce it Nanase. Yeah, she's really cool players as well. So yeah, it was good. Like able to. Oh yeah,
That was nice.
in
So yeah, a lot of places actually.
also,
man.
that was like Norway, France. Was there any other places? I can't remember. Don't think so. So in total, so like US, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and
France and Norway.
France and Norway. Yeah.
You did bring up Neo Geo World Tour #2 when you got to visit Taipei and Taipei, excuse me. And I will say for myself, I think this was the first time I got to see you play. I can't remember if we were already friends for KOF 14 at the time, because we have played online, and like you mentioned, playing people from the East Coast, our connection wasn't that bad in KOF 14. The few times we did play. So, I mean, it was as good as it could be. It wasn't perfect, but it was, the fact that I had a better connection with you than I had with people that lived in the same state as me is definitely questionable. But yeah, Neo Geo World Tour 2. You were there, you were competing, you were playing Moi Moi and Vice. Shout outs to those characters. How was that event? Can you tell me about like just playing? Because there was so many strong players at that event there.
I have to say, I couldn't perform as well as I wanted to because I couldn't sleep before that.
Ooh, interesting. Pressure?
Okay. So, okay. It's gonna be a little story about it. So, as soon as you go to Taiwan, then you will meet the players in the gaming cafe that like ET runs called DBJ. Have you ever heard about it?
Nah, I'm not sure.
Okay,
I've
so
seen the tag, because I know that's like ET's
Yeah.
sponsor, right? DBJ ET.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, he run this like gaming cafe. So all the guys that who in Taipei that plays KOF and maybe some other games as well, they will go to DBJ to play games as well. And so all the KOF player will go to ET's place to play games. So we were there the day before the tournament. So after we basically just like have some casual, play some games, and then after that, before we go back home to sleep, and then we're just going for dinner. So we end up having a hot pot together.
Oh, nice.
And that hot pot fucked me up. And then I guess I have like so much meat and stuff like that. And then my body was basically on fire. I just couldn't sleep. And then until the 6 o'clock in the morning, I still couldn't sleep. So I was just like, man, I just have to go there and down to, sort of like free Red Bull and try to play in the tournament. Oh, by the way, one other thing, it was kind of funny as well. And after we have the dinner, we go back to DBJ just to play a little bit as well, despite there's a tournament in the next morning. And then so like ET made me to play one of his mates, and then just the first 3, yeah. So so some of them will say that it's like I'm not gonna able to beat this guy, and then so I was just like, yeah, sure, we just do a first 3. Then I beat them, but then I beat the guy. So and then I find out that it's like they are doing side bets on my match with this guy.
Oh shit.
So maybe that I can find it quite funny as well. Then it just kind of make me giggle, and maybe couldn't sleep as well.
Wow. So let me get this straight. The pressure was on for the tournament. You were up at the arcade playing.
Yeah.
And you ate so much good hot pot that it kept you up. And that can happen. Not to go off on a tirade, but I do think competing at tournaments, especially at these ones you travel out for at high level, like I'm not telling people to diet, obviously, but like you definitely got to be careful what you put in your body. Because I myself I've succumbed to that. I ate a breakfast burrito one time, and like my stomach was basically on fire. It was hard to play pools. I had to use the restroom multiple times, and it's just something like that can throw you off your game. And you want to play the best, especially at the Neo Geo World Tour 2. All of them, the first and second one. Unfortunately, the third one, I think it was, ended up getting canceled because of COVID. That was very, very sad, because I was looking forward to seeing KOF 14 and Samurai Showdown there. But
I
yes,
couldn't even stay for the until it finished as well, because that like after I played my match, I end up just got really sleepy. I had to just run back to the hotel and sleep.
damn. Yeah, like
I couldn't
just,
stay. Yeah,
just that
it
one
was,
little
it was,
thing.
Yeah, it wasn't my experience on that. Not because of the organizer, but just because of what happened. I couldn't enjoy in terms of the tournament as much as I wanted to. But the whole trip to Taiwan is really good though. I really enjoy Taiwan.
How long were you out there?
Just 1 week.
Okay.
But what's that? Just able to like do all the sightseeing stuff, eat all the good food as well. By the way, the food is there and just cheap and so tasty. If you want nice Chinese food, Taiwan is definitely a place to go to. And then in the nighttime, you do all your sightseeing. You go back to DVJ, play some KOF as well, till whatever time that you want. Hang out with them, and then go back to sleep and do your sightseeing again. It was a good loop. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a very eventful week, you know, while you were out
Yeah,
there.
it was
And,
good. It was really nice.
I'm glad you were able to like salvage the trip too, you know what I mean? Because the tournament didn't go as, you know, as well as you wanted it, but you still had a good time out there. Like you said, you got to eat some cheap food and some flavorful food. And from cheap food to expensive lodging, that's our next topic, New York City. So you were out here in New York City during the summer for Kayla. Let's fast forward a little bit, because we were just talking about KOF 14 and Neo Geo World Tour 2. Now we're talking about KOF 15. And a few months ago, like I said, you were in New York City for, I think it was 2 weeks, right?
Yep. Just under 2 weeks, but yeah, about it.
About 14 days. Let's talk about your trip. How was it out here? How did you like New York City as a whole before the tournament stuff, just in general? It's okay. You can say yeah. Don't worry. I won't get upset. I might get upset, but it's okay.
It's my second time in New York.
Okay.
Although because of the exchange rate from US dollar to British pound are just really strong for US dollar, so everything just like seemed extremely expensive for me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
The pound was almost dropped to like 1-to-1, pretty much close to 1-to-1.
So it was even more money that you were.
Yeah, it was really expensive for me. Like I mentioned before, I was going there for a friend's wedding, which I promised it 2 years ago, because he was meant to have his wedding before COVID, but then COVID hit. It has to keep on get postponed until just September just gone. So yeah, but I didn't think that it'll be so expensive. And also, like, I got a friend who's supposed to go there for a business trip around the time that we are going, and then suddenly his company say that it's like, oh, we are not going to send you to New York. We are going to send you to somewhere else. And I was like, fuck my accommodation.
Oh, because you were going to stay with them.
Yeah, he basically like he's going there for a business trip, and we're just gonna like basically crash in his hotel that where he's staying.
Right.
And
he's gonna get a big room.
Yeah, because he's gonna be able to get a big room, possibly able to get a hotel like that gives him 2 rooms as well. But then suddenly that plan is like out of the window, and I was like, fuck, I need to find an accommodation for myself. So I was like, yeah, and that really hurts. That hurts a lot. Asian food in New York is good. Pizza is good. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah. I'll just say that the food was good.
I was throwing a thumbs up to the camera when you said the pizza was good. That's all.
Okay.
That's something we're very prideful
did I offend you or something like that?
No, that's something we're very New York pizza is like that's something we're very prideful of. I guess probably shouldn't be because it's super unhealthy. But in terms of like just having the best pizza, that's what New York is always like, talking about. So, but yeah, let's keep it going. So you're in New York for a while. You hit me up because you're like, hey, I'm gonna be out here. Is there anything KOF related going on? And I'm like, you came at the perfect time because we have 2 back-to-back events. The first one was Lunar Phase, which you won. So
Yeah.
how was it coming through to play with us at Luna Phase? Did you enjoy yourself at the Next Level Arcade?
Yeah, it was good. It was really fun. And then it was good to meet everyone as well and play everyone. To be honest, I was actually a bit surprised that I won.
Really?
No, I just didn't think that. I'm just coming here for fun. I didn't think that I would like basically. I don't know. Just wasn't thinking anything. I was just like no expectation whatsoever, and I was just like, oh shit, I won. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I will say for sure. I mean, as strong as you are, I will say one of New York's weaknesses was we don't fight Shizuru as much. Like we have Motor plays Shizuru, and he's gotten a lot better since then. But at the time, it's like particularly like a lot of New York players would travel out to, like, you know, if we go to Combo Breaker or Evo, whatever. A lot of New York players would go to these events and they would lose to just Shizuru players from like nowhere. So like that, it didn't surprise, like as good as you are, it also didn't surprise me. Once I saw you playing,
Don't
I'm
worry,
like,
me too.
yeah, I'm like, oh, they don't know what to do. So it was, I gotta say, it was very fun calling the action, you know, watching you again IRL after being a fan for like a pretty long time and seeing your play. And then no problem. What cracked me up was as soon as you came in and I remember you were playing casuals with somebody and someone did something random and then you started talking shit and I was like, damn, it's like she's from New York. Like you just fit right in, like your energy and everything. And like we definitely loved having you at Next Level and also at Brooklyn Video Games, because you was there the next time. We got to play there and hang out. We closed that night. I think we were there till like 3 a.m, like super late, just playing a bunch of KOFs. I think 98 was there, but yeah, how was it at Brooklyn Video Games too?
That was good as well. I think no offense to the Brooklyn Arcade, but when I was in Next Level, after I win the tournament and then just playing some casual and then what's that, like, then I got really tired because I was just playing whole day. Then I saw the owner. Is he the owner? Henry Sen?
Henry Sen, yes. Yeah. He's the owner of Next Level. Yeah.
And then he just like cutting someone's hair there. And I was just like, oh wow, this is actually real. And then and I just like kind of curious because that's my job as well. I cut people's hair for a living. And then I was just like, just see what he's doing. Then we end up having a really good chat, and then I think Henry got really excited that finally there's someone that he can like talk to about this fancy hair tool that he like equipments that he have that no one really understand. I guess like the people that would go there even like let him do haircuts by Henry, and then they might not really know about the equipments that he used. And actually, he got some really fancy equipments as well. I was actually amazed by a few tools that he got. So yeah, we have a really good chat. That's something that Brooklyn Arcade is not because of the game part, but it's just like Henry is a funny person to talk to. So yeah, I quite enjoy that.
Yeah, that was so random. I just remember looking to the right and seeing you cutting someone's hair, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, damn, she came here, she won our tournament, now she's cutting everyone's hair. Like, what can't she do? Like, clearly, you know, Christina is very talented at multiple things, but I want to see if I can find footage of that to edit that in here, because I think someone recorded it. But it was so funny, and a lot of us was just laughing at it. It was like, damn, Henry's cutting hair better than you. And everybody's like busting Henry's chops. Shout outs to Henry and Next Level, and shout outs to
the
Esteban.
thing is, like, he wasn't trained professionally. Like, he just watching stuff from internet and then to able to do it. Put it this way, is actually impressive.
True.
I actually got people to train me and then to do it properly as well. And I've been doing it for years as well, so seriously, props to him. And well, people who go there and doesn't let him mind to try as well, he get free motor to do it all the time as well. So that's good as well. You just need to practice it all the time. So he was saying that like there's certain hairstyle that he doesn't like to do, and then I was just like, okay, you can do this technique and that technique, combining to this thesis and doing in this angle, and then which it was good to actually have a. Sorry, I forgot the person's name. That who I was actually cutting. He have a similar haircut that he say that like he kind of don't like to cut. So I was just like, can I just use you as an example without actually cutting your hair, but just to show him what to do? And then he was just like, yeah, sure. Then after basically showing him a little bit, and the kid was just like, hey, you can cut my hair. And I was just like, 1:00 in the morning. It's like, And then and Henry just hand me the scissors and comb as well. I was just like, all right then, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it.
Yep, nothing like Next Level, folks. I'm telling you guys. Anyone watching this, if you haven't been to Next Level in Brooklyn, it's an experience. You gotta pop in whenever you can.
Definitely, it's an experience. It's like I don't think I will ever experience it. Going to an arcade, play in a tournament, win the tournament. Then next thing you know, it's just like 1:00 in the morning. I'm cutting someone's hair as well. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. So that was the first one as well. That was cool.
We have a nice like just family kind of vibe here, and I'm glad you got to experience that. You know, you were able to come and
it was good
and see how how our events are. And actually, that kind of leads me into the next question. I wanted to know, like, the locals out here, is it comparable? Like what's not even comparable, but like, what can you say in terms of the difference in the play styles from like New York or even USA to back in the UK? Is there a difference, you think, in play styles?
I think in terms of play style, it's hard to say because everyone's just different. It's like, let's say, example, Southie will play different to like Mike, and then even different to like KOF
Or Pachu.
or Pachu as well. Pachu is different. Like
Yeah.
So since everyone is different, I think it's kind of hard to just say that like in terms of like this region, you got this one play style, and US have certain kind of play style. I think everyone's is a little bit more individual, have their own personal touch. So I think that question is actually rather hard to identify. But what I would say, doesn't matter where I go, you're going to have like a group of people, they don't look at the screen.
Okay.
They do what they want.
Yeah.
They don't care what you do. They don't care what you punish. They're still going to do it. But that doesn't limit it to any region. You just got people who will do that.
Right. You can't brainwash them. They don't care how many times you check them. They're still going to do that DP, right?
I call them Autobots.
Yeah. Autobots, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, it's, you're going to get these people, these kind of players everywhere. So that's why it's like, it's kind of hard because like, you have them, you have definitely have in every country, every region. Doesn't matter where you go, which country you go to, you definitely have these kind of players and people that who will try to identify and adapt as well. It's that's why it's hard to say.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that, and like adapting to. I think I'm not sure if you've mentioned this before, or I don't know why I feel like it came from you, but like someone was saying on Twitter once, like playing people that are sporadic can sometimes be just as hard as playing someone who's like very confident and like very strong and know what they're doing. Like you would think the more sporadic player is easier because they're just doing shit, but like sometimes that can throw you off. Like I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I think I know someone posted about that, and I don't know, I felt like it came from you. But if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But
I can't remember too. I post so much.
You have good thoughts, though. I think you're one of the people who on Twitter, like if I see your post about 15, I'm like, okay, I'll look. Whereas there's some people I'm like, I'm gonna keep scrolling because I know it's just salt talking. or whatever. Like, because it is what it is. 15 be getting people salty out here. But yeah, so we talked a lot about your tournaments, right? We talked about you being a strong player and your longevity, but I want to talk a bit about your content creation. You have a YouTube, and I think you have some cool videos. Can you explain to the viewers at home what some of the content you put out?
More or less just stuff that I want to put out, and don't really I guess my thought process is like at the kind of like in this period, and then I saw on Twitter, and then I would see kind of like maybe people are not noticing bits and bobs. Then I was like, maybe I kind of want to talk about it. Then I will then just started like thinking of an idea, a concept of like what topic that I should talk about, and then I'll start to like make it. But how I get into making YouTube video in the first place is because of COVID. It's because that like in UK we got locked down, and then so because of my job I actually just can't work. But thankfully because of UK government was giving out furlough, so even though I'm not working, I still got some sort of income to keep myself surviving. And then I was just rinsing a lot of one-player games that I don't usually play. And then after, when I get to the third lockdown, and I'm just like, wow, I don't know how long this is going to go on for. So I need to, I'm thinking of like, what can I do? Like, what kind of other stuff that I can do to be a bit more productive while I can't do hairdressing for a living? So then I'm just like, hey, I'm streaming, playing some games anyway, so maybe I should just make some video about games that I play. So then obviously 14 was like coming to the end of the life cycle. So I thought, well, most likely it's not going to be in KOF 15. So as a memorial to KOF 14, after playing it for 5 years, so I thought I would make basically a learning project of how to make using the video editing software, and then but making a sort of a Mui guide in a style that which is more like Super Robot Wars. Have you ever heard of that series? So it's kind of just a turn-based RPG, and you press a button, and then like a text sequence, just a demo will come out. So because I played those games since when I was young, and then so I was like, hey, maybe I can just turn KOF into kind of a turn-based RPG style, just to as a presentation and as a guide for KOF 14. And if I ever go back to KOF 14, I can look back into it, and I can remember what I used to do in KOF 14. That's why I decided to make that video, and then I was just like, hey, this is actually quite fun. So then I just been making video every now and then.
You got the bug, right? You got the creation bug, and you're like, I want to do this. I want to. It's
actually really fun.
It is. As someone who's been doing it a little bit more on my end as well, for TikTok and YouTube now and stuff like that, like it's so much fun just kind of having ideas like fester around in your mind, and just think about like, oh, I should do this, so let me look into that.
Yeah.
Like
one other thing as well is like I can't really draw. I can't really like write too well as well. But making video, it kind of just having a space for me to present what's in my mind, what kind of picture I have in my mind, so that like it basically helped me to have a space to project my voice that inside my head, so that people can see it visually, that what's inside my head. So if I have something that like I find it hard to explain on paper, or maybe it's just too long, so a video is like with visual, with sound, and like maybe an okay presentation, at least they can project my voice and make it a bit more clear for people to understand, and hopefully people can understand where my feel comes from. And I think that's why I like to make it as well. And when you get the presentation right, or like let's say when there's some effects that like I want to do, and when I can actually manage to make it, feel actually really satisfying. Yeah.
It's so cathartic, right? It really is when it comes together. You ever have times where something plays out in your mind a certain way, but then you don't quite translate it, but then the way it comes out, it's like, oh shit, this is even better, right? Like, does that happen sometimes where, like, oh
yeah,
wow.
that can happen. Like the recent video, and then I was like at the start, it has the Star Wars text claw style.
Yes, that was good. That was good.
Yeah, and then at first after I make it, and I'm just thinking of like, oh man, what music I can put? It's like obviously if I put the actual Star Wars one, I'll definitely get copyright strike. So I was just like, shit, what kind of orchestra music that I can use? And then so I was trying to look for it, and then and my partner Inti, and then he just say, yeah, what about the KOF orchestra one? And I was just like, holy shit, yes.
There it is.
And I put it in, and it just works really well. I was just like, hey, that's actually quite good. So I decided to use that. So thanks to him.
Yeah, shout outs to NC.
Yes, made the idea. Yes.
In the background. But yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool how that works out. Again, it shows off, the ever like growing just creativity, right? You're just constantly thinking of things, even on the fly, to make the current project, better. But with that, yeah, the new video you put out, I guess I'll lump all these questions kind of in here. 15 has been out for almost a year now. It's about 11 months in. We've had 2 metas, right? Two patches. Tell me your overall thoughts on the game. And I know you did in that video, so just kind of, you don't have to go too much into it, because we're gonna plug that video anyways in the description. But I just tell me your thoughts on the overall current state of 15, and what did you want to see in season 2?
Well, beside those infamous 2 points that I mentioned inside the video, I just hope that we have a bit more freedom in terms of like style to play, and also like character choice, and then if we can like play more different kind of characters, even viable in the tournament, that would be great. I just want to able to move around for free, like feel freely to move around again without being too stressful. And I don't have to play so defensive. That would be quite nice, because I just want to punch people inside the game. I don't want to just sit back and wait for my chance. Right, I just want to open people's guard up. Just like make people block, and then they're just like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna break your card. I want to do that to people.
It's hard to do that, and what's crazy is in your video you brought up how, if you watch a lot of high level matches, it's just people whiffing buttons from a certain distance to try to catch something, to catch a hop, to catch a run, and it's so true. I noticed that as well. I just didn't really put it into perspective, but I remember I would play sometimes even live on stream. I'm playing like someone online, and I'm like, oh my god, this person is just waiting for me to walk in their vicinity to like catch something. You know what I mean? Like they're just throwing the button out. They didn't know I was gonna run. They're just throwing out far C. I happen to run because there's recovery on run. I get blown up, and now I'm dead, right? And I thought that was a very good point, and that's something I've been very adamant about. I'm like, please, can we get run block again? Like, please, because so many times you get hit with random shit because you try to stop your run, but you were a frame or so too late, and there it is. You got clipped.
So I noticed that from the like open beta test, the first one, and I'm just like, wait a second, why can't I block? And then I was it the first one that have Terry?
Yeah, I think they both had Terry. No, I think so.
I think it's the only first one, right? It's so long ago now. It's not so long ago. It's a year ago, and then I'm just like seeing this like EX burner code coming at me, and then I just get hit by it. I was thinking like, fam, what the fuck? Why did I get hit by that? And then I have to actually go through my footage, and I was just like, raw, they actually make me not able to block. And then I'm just like, this is going to be fucked. And it turns out it is.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned earlier that the thing that captivated you most, was the movement, the freedom to move. And
exactly.
like that already takes away movement. Like, I remember, I think it was the second beta that had me, Kun. I would get hit by like full screen dash punches. And I'm like, I'm running up just to cover the screen a little bit. And I would still get hit. And that's when I'm like, at first I thought it was because I was playing the PS5 version, which is like, that was like the worst version at the time. It had so much input delay.
Yeah.
So I thought it was that. I'm like, oh, it's just the input delay. But then when the full game came out and I had it on PC, I'm like, no, I'm still getting hit. Like, it's not the input delay. But
well, I proper checked that, and then and luckily I actually had the footage on the training mode, have the frame count as well. I was just like, wow, you really can't block for 13 frame. So I have to check with other people who's like in Japan as well, and then there's like, yeah, like actually check it, and then they say you can't block for the first 13 frame. I was just like, and at that moment I'm just thinking like, I hope that they changed that, but they didn't.
Yep, but we'll see. Yeah. Time will tell. As of this recording, we have a few days before the official season 2 update. So I mean, we'll know
I hope
very
it's not
soon.
High, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But before we head to the Raijinkan round, I have one big question to ask you. One final question. One of the last tournaments of last year, to cap things off, was the SNK Regional Bouts. And what people, for those that may not know, SNK Regional Bouts was a 7-week tournament series that happened in different regions. North America, there was East Asia, there was Latin America, stuff like that. So there was a particular one in Europe, and KurinyanKOF won the whole thing.
Yeah, surprise.
Again, look at her. She's so good, and she's still surprised. But let's talk about that. Did you have any special preparations going into that? Maybe practicing online, just anything, or was it another tournament where he's like, I'm just gonna enter and see what happens?
Okay, not really, in a way. So what happened was, so I would start from like, okay, originally when they announced the regional bouts, I actually wasn't going to enter it. It's because at first it's on Saturday, which I have to work. And then, and obviously, like in the video I mentioned that it's just like, I'm not too happy with the meta at the moment. So I was just like, what's the point? And then I'm just going, and also from the early days as well, when I was playing PC version, some people that I play, maybe due to their PC performance or internet infrastructure, I just not often get the matches is just connection is just like hit and miss. Some people are really nice, but some people are just gonna be like really horrible with like lag spike every now and then. I'm just like, oh man, do I want to play this? So on the early ICFC, and during that time you can't set the online input delay on PC, right?
I don't think so. I think that patch came later on. Yeah. So at the time I couldn't play on PC. It just feels so different. But then recently when I play on PC, just to give it a try, and then I managed to find a decent setting, which is like I just put it on 1 frame plus on online. Then I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of similar to PS4. Then I feel like I can play PC again. So that's first thing that it changed my mind. Is like, okay, if I have to play, I wouldn't mind. The second thing that it changed my mind is like, I saw they say that the prize pool is like, the more people that enter the tournament, the more prize pool they're going to the money that they'll put into the prize pot, right? So I thought, hey, even though if I'm not going to get the money, one of us is going to get the money. So for the community's sake, I might as well enter. So I asked my boss, take half a day off, and then I just went. I just went back home after work, not much prep, and then
And to be honest, that day in UK was really cold. Exceptionally cold. It was kind of like -3 or something like that. Like, and also
it's cold, yeah.
Wow.
And also like cause usually I'm not at home at that time, so my heating usually doesn't come on. So as soon as I go home, my hand was so cold. And then so I was just like, man, like this is not great. And also the day before, I tried to check the bracket. I don't know who's in my bracket as well. So there's no way I can prep who am I going to play against or what kind of character that I'm going to play against. I thought like, okay, well, all right, just go in cold and play on the tournament. So not much preparation, but one thing that's changed my mind is like before this SNK regional bout, on end of October in Paris, there's a UFA. So I went to that so I went to that tournament. Score was there, White Ash was there, and then Babolan was there. So we were just like chatting, playing games together and things like that. And after playing Score and White Ash as well, I think at that moment I just have to accept the fact that it's like I just can't play offensive in this game. Yeah, I really accept. I was just like, oh man, like okay, offense just doesn't really go. And after I lose to the so when I on that tournament, White Ash was on my pool. Thankfully, I was on stream as well, so I can watch the archive and then I'll just look back on the match and see what did I do to make myself lose. Then I realized that it's just like when I put him in corner, I still try to go for offense. And then even though if I'm leading, I always just like, oh, they're in the corner, and I'll try to open them up and things like that. But then, like, sometimes it's just like whatever just happens, and then I'm in the corner, and I just get fucked like that.
Yep.
So therefore, it's just like, I guess it's that moment that make me realize that it's like if I'm on live lead, if they're in the corner, even though I got a knockdown in there, I don't need to go for offense. Just trap them there. And I think that's what worked really well in the tournament that I won on the SNK regional bout. Because like if you go back to the archive on the tournament that I won, you will see that like after I knock opponent down in the corner, I often just do just step back and keep them just to keep them there. And then they eventually were just like, oh wow, I need to try to get out. Then I just kill them for that. I think that works so well. And
yeah, it does.
Is why,
actually.
Yeah, and then that is why this game needs dash block. If not because of there isn't dash block, I can't do that. It wouldn't be so effective.
And I agree with you. I 100% agree. Like the game definitely favors defense, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I think there should be some type of a closure on both as far as offense and defense. And yeah, it's definitely a situation where you kind of make your opponents hang themselves. You put a little gap between yourself and the corner and them to let them try to jump or, you know, do a reversal or something, because even standing too close, right? You have wake up throw, which is an option that's like annoying to deal with, especially in an online setting, right? Where there's going to be a little bit of a delay or a little bit of a, you know, rollback on some situations. So that was a great mindset to take in. Obviously it worked out. You won the entire thing. You won a lot of money, I'm sure. So it was definitely worth taking that half day off work.
Like it's funny though, like because it's online tournament, and then the price just like go into PayPal, and it goes into the bank account. I never received the physical money, so I never actually held the money on my hand. It still feels surreal. Like I don't really feel like I won it. It kind of just feel like that. I just went home, pressed some buttons, just doing my usual daily routine. And next thing I know is just like, oh shit, I won. And then like, and you know, like after the tournament, like as much as I just win like one of the bigger tournament, like biggest tournament that like around the region, right?
Yep.
And next thing I know is just, next thing I do is like as soon as I finish, I won the tournament. I just go and have a coffee, because that like usually I'll finish work at like 8 o'clock. By the time I get home, about 9 o'clock, and then the tournament run until 10:30 in UK time, and then I was just like well overdue for having my coffee, and I just say to Inti straight away, it's like just one thing, put down the stick, let's go and have coffee.
I love it. The celebratory coffee.
Else. Yeah, I was just like, hey, let's go and have coffee. It's coffee time. It feels so surreal.
Yeah, I can imagine it does. But you know what? You won the whole thing, Christina. Congrats again on that. That was a very, very impressive win. Yeah, and you've earned it. The universe has a weird way of telling us that we're doing something right. And that's what it was. You came home from what you thought would be a normal day. You just wanted to press buttons. You won the whole thing, and then you got to drink your coffee afterwards. So with that being said, though, we're going to head real quickly to our right Jinkin round. You see, I'm clever. You get it? Lightning. Ha. But no, seriously, she didn't even laugh. That wasn't funny. But seriously, Christina, I'm going to just say, we'll just say 3 things. Tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I mention these 3 things. You ready?
Okay.
All right. Favorite KOF character?
Fives.
Yeah, good choice. Very good choice. Favorite KOF game?
Well, at this point, I have to say 14.
Woo! 2 for 2, baby. 14's a good game, you cowards. Go home and play it. And last but not least, favorite KOF song. And I want you to be specific as well. By that, I mean choosing the version of the song.
This one is hard though. KOF got so much good tunes.
It's so good. It could be just the first one that comes to your mind. Doesn't even have to be your definitive number 1.
Okay. Oh man, there's so many. God, like it's so hard to say just one. You know, this is the hardest one, just because there's got so many good tunes in my mind.
So many, yeah. There's a lot of good songs. I'll tell you this: the guests I've had on so far have all picked a KOF 2000 song.
Or Inner Shade.
Yeah. You going with Inner Shade?
That's on my list, but I don't think I will pick that one. That one is too blatant. Oh man. Okay. Is that the 19-1 Iori one? Is that Statistic Eye?
Oh yeah, 99 Iori. Arashi no Saxophone 4, I believe. I think that is Sadistic Eyes.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. For now, our questions are done. Let's get to the matches. And we're back, folks. We're about to get into this match right now. We're just playing just 5 games. I'm feeling the team already from Christina. Nice. I'll go to trainer stage just for the sake of, you know, since we are across the pond.
Nothing will stop this show.
So Leona.
to use them.
Yeah, I feel like Leona's that's very much the character I associate with you outside of like Vice.
我not Chizuru. Kind of sad about that.
Ready?
Oh, I won't have to. I won't have to in next patch.
Fair enough.
Not the dick kick. Let's go, baby. 3.0 shooting. Oh, let's go. Are we playing? Yo, are we currently playing the patched version? That's wild. Nice. Oh my, that was fast.
This is match point.
Yeah, that is fast. Okay. Alright then.
Oh shit, Leona's here. Oh no.
Goodbye.
Now I'm alive. Okay, I lied. I'm not alive.
Thank you. Let's try again.
Oh my god, I forgot.
Mix up time. That worked. Oh, didn't. No! It hit!
No OCV for you.
Oh, for fuck's sake, it actually hit. That jumpy actually hit.
No, I think I was out of range slightly.
Oh well, I tried. Nah. Okay, that's fine.
Oh. Oh my god, okay. Okay. Oh my god, run stop, please.
Okay, nice.
Nice, good punish.
Nice one. Okay. Alright.
Oh my god, I stood up for 1 second. Oh, the double overhead. Oh my god.
What the hell? Excuse me, boy.
Woo, let's go. Nice safe jump.
Nice.
Oh fuck. Oh, that was sick. Oh my god! 3 in a row? Oh.
Goodbye.
So can you choose where that goes?
For that timing, no, but
Nice. I tried to preemptively guard cancel blowback, but I think I did it too early, so you sniped me.
yeah.
Oh, good block. Try to do something cheeky with the overhead there.
Oh my god. Fair enough.
Oh my god.
Dash block in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh fuck, I only have 1 bar. That shit is crazy. Nice. Hard Hop CD is like, man, that's really good. Nice. Forgot she could cancel far normals like that.
Okay.
Time to bring in the
Are we
big
changing
guns.
or not?
I was gonna change it. You can change if you want. God.
Oh wow, you actually blocked.
I
Oh,
did block. Yeah, it chipped me.
my bad.
I was like, wait, can I punish? Yeah, I'm good. No. Oh no. I mistimed my jump and now I'm dead.
Needs a miracle.
Huh? Oh wow. Whoa! Actually whiffed. I'm surprised I actually whiffed. Wow!
I don't know what. I'll take it though. I'll take it.
Oh my days. Shit, I'm not gonna lose.
Oh! Nice throw. Ah, no!
What the? Why is it pushed back so far? I don't get it.
No! Oh my god! I wanted to backdash and I ended up getting jumped. Oh wow.
Pushed back so hard.
So hope you guys at home enjoy those matches. Christina's too strong. What can I say? What can I say? She's looking good going into season 2. KurinyanKOF, thank you so much for being a part of this episode. And
No, thank you for inviting me as well. That was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I always love you know, like I said, anytime I get to watch you play or just anything, talking with you in general, I definitely value you a lot in terms of like the KOF community. I feel like you have a great mind for what's good for the game, and as well as obviously you can translate it and play. So you know, but with that being said, where can everyone at home find you?
You can find me on Twitter, on YouTube, Twitch. I do use it and streaming my casual matches with the Europeans around me, and so as the North African guys as well. So the we have a Discord server. We always play. Basically, we just ask to say, hey, anyone want to play? Then I just play. If there's people play, then I'll stream. But I don't have a proper schedule about it. So if you just happen go on Twitch and then see me online on Twitch as well, then just tune in and maybe just say hi or even leave some comment just so that I can chat some shit. So that'll be cool. But other than that, then Twitter definitely is the one place that you can definitely get to me. Then it's YouTube. Yeah. Then it's Twitch.
There it is. Sounds really good. We'll have all the links and everything in the description below so you guys can follow at home. But with that being said, that's been another episode of 15 Minutes of Flame. I am Rome himself, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
That's all for now, fighters. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow Rome's social media pages down below. Take care, see you next time, and most importantly, thank you for watching.